What up, y'all? Welcome back to Culture Corner Wrestling. I am Brad Bailey. He is Shot Elemental. He is King Charisma. What up, fellas?
Was good.
What's good? What's good?
Can't call it. Can't call it. Got a busy episode. We got a lot to talk about. We got the Cody Rock Roman situation that's going on, and it could be a total fiasco. It could work out. Who knows? But we'll get into that. We got the women's world title scene. Elimination Chamber. We'll talk about Bailey and her face turn. Really, that's what it was. And
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
So we'll start off with Bailey. We'll start off. I thought it was done pretty well. You know that it was done as well as it possibly could be done. Felt a little rushed during the episode. I don't think they gave it too much time. Especially with like the beat down and whatever. But King, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, man. I do feel as if we all saw it coming from a mile away.
Mhm.
That's all right. But I do feel within the episode it was slightly rushed. Then again, I don't know how many other options we have to make this face turn happen. Obviously she won the Rumble. We obviously knew there wasn't like a real storyline behind her and going after Rhea Ripley. So the only one that really made sense was the other champion that was in the faction she started and put together. Um, and we always saw like hints and shades of the turn by Damage Control, especially when Kyrie Zane came in and she was super united with Asuka and with Io Sky. So um, I do in the episode. I did feel like it was a little bit rushed. I honestly feel like they could have even pushed it back like another week or two, just to like tease at maybe other things. Obviously we were able to tell from a mile away she was gonna go after Io Sky, but um, I think it was. I think it was about time. I think it was well done, even though it was a little bit rushed. And I think it's going to be a friggin' good match. I think that they're going to have good in-ring chemistry. Obviously, Io Sky is fun as hell to watch. Um, and I think Bailey's safe enough to, protect her in that situation. But I just want to know what goes forward, how we go forward with that faction. Like, what is Dakota Kai gonna do, right? Is she gonna stick with them? Is she gonna stick by Bailey? Is she gonna be somewhere in the middle or neutral? Obviously, the Kabuki Warriors are the tag champs. Those championships, obviously, they're playing hot potato right now. We've had like 3 different sets of women's champions, tag team champions in the last like 3 or 4 months. So I'm not really sure there's a definitive direction for those tag titles. But right now, I think as a faction, if you keep Io Sky, Asuka, and Kyrie Zane all together, I think it works. And I think it'll broaden to other fan bases across the world. But I'm just not sure where Dakota Kai stands in it. I think she may stay neutral. She might roll with Bailey. She might dip off from the group in general. I don't know. Um, but I think there is something to be told of her being like an odd man out in the faction after Bailey leaves and does her face turn. So with Damage Control, I don't know what's to come, but I'm definitely excited, and I definitely think it was, a long time coming for this face turn for Bailey and for them to turn on her. So it's months and months overdue, and I still feel like been it could have gone another week or two without having this happen. So we'll
Yeah,
definitely see how dope the match will be at WrestleMania. I think it's gonna be dope. And I think to start off WrestleMania season, it's a good introductory to what's in store for Mania season. I think this was the first storyline that you can hint a match for. This was the one to be like, all right, we're gonna start off and make this one official. So I think that was a good way to start it off.
I think they're gonna do it opening night match one. I think
Yeah,
that's how they're gonna
I
kick
think
it
so
off
too. I think it's gonna open night one exactly.
for sure. Shaw, what are your thoughts?
Um, I kind of agree with him. I feel like they could have stretched it out a little bit longer, maybe a week or two, and shown a little bit more dissension. Um, I did like how once they started beating her down, she kind of escaped, and rather than pulling the classic WWE where like a face is going to come down who like all of a sudden is there to save the heel, like they always do that.
Right.
I was glad to see that they had her roll out of the ring and grab a pipe and fight her own way out of it. I thought that was dope rather than doing, the classic,
Yeah.
like, oh, here comes a random face to save you because you guys were fighting 2 weeks ago. But now they're like, oh, we got to go help her or whatever. Like, I kind of find that corny when they do that. So
It's
I was
even
I was very happy with the way they pulled it off.
they did it even a smarter way is they put it as to she set it up. She put the pipe there ahead of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was even they even gave it that kind of forethought. That was good.
Yeah. And I like how they did the whole, like, oh, she's like, all of a sudden, guess what? I speak Japanese. I heard all the shit you were talking. Like that was pretty dope. That was a
Yeah,
nice
no,
touch.
that was cool. I like that. I like that. She's like, I picked up on it. Y'all think y'all slick? I've been around all of y'all long enough to know this shit.
Yeah, yeah, that was dope. I liked that. I liked the whole segment. I thought it was dope. I like seeing Bailey. Um, I feel like it's about time she gets her flowers. Out of the four horsewomen, she was always like the last one to really get like the shine.
Yeah,
And to me, she might be the best all around out of the group to me because I can't stand Becky. Like her personality, I think she's kind of trash in the ring. Like she's solid in the ring mechanically. I just don't like her style.
Mm.
Charlotte's good in the ring, but I don't know, something about her just irks me. I
I
can't
mean,
really put my
she's
finger
her
on it.
father's daughter, dude. You mean
That probably is it.
she's
Yeah.
her
It
father's
is.
daughter.
Um,
That's all it is.
and then Sasha, she's gone. Although I have a feeling Tony Khan's big announcement tonight is
I
going
have
to
a
be
feeling it's her,
he-
dude. But yeah,
here. So it's either her or Okada. I'm thinking
yeah,
most likely her though because she didn't show up
yeah,
at the Royal Rumble. So I'm pretty sure she's going to end up there tonight. So once we're done here, that's probably what I'm going to do. Is check that out.
yeah. I think that Bailey, she was deserving of this kind of moment too. Because if you really think about it, over the last couple of years, a majority has been spent for her. It's been spent putting people over and
Yeah, and
taking a
building
backseat
other
to certain
people.
people. She's
Mhm.
kind of been giving back to the how they always say giving back to the business. Her last couple years, any significant storyline she had is basically just to been put other people over. So I think it's finally time that she goes back over. She goes because people loved her as a baby face. I know I did. So I think it's cool, man. I don't know if she wins at Mania. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know. She may. Just I don't know, but it depends on what they have planned for Damage Control, which obviously is up in the air. But it's cool to just see her finally get this moment for her, though, man. I feel like she deserves it after the last couple of years.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think she wins. I think she wins. I think over the course of the next what 6 weeks or whatever it is, 8 weeks till Mania, they're gonna have them beat her down every single week. She's not gonna get a chance. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
build her up that way, and then finally, boom! In the end, she wins. Crying, boom! Fireworks, first match.
Yeah, I can see that.
Call it a day. Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
fucking with it. So I want her to win. I'd like, and it's not that I don't hate Io Sky. I actually think Io Sky is fucking dope.
Nah,
But
she's ill. Like
yeah,
I like the whole group, honestly. It's kind
I
of
do
sad
too.
to see them break up, but it's the natural progression of a faction. Um,
Mm.
with with Bailey, my thing with her too is like I'm very interested to see this face run with her where she's not going to be like I doubt they're going to have her do the whole hugging out thing, like she was at
Nah,
first,
nah, nah, nah.
like a Hulk Hogan-y, like eat your vitamins type of baby face. I feel like now you're going to get more like the natural her a lot more out of her rather than like I'm super happy, wacko waving inflatable
Yeah,
Yeah, it got the
tube arm guy.
ponytail to
Like,
the side and shit, the little headband, and
yeah, like I think you're gonna see a more serious baby face run out of her.
yeah,
Almost like a mini Cody, I'm thinking.
right.
that seems like the direction they're going in. So we got to move on to the other women's title, Rhea Ripley. Thank God they're getting Nia Jax over with at Elimination Chamber, so that it doesn't have to be the main. You know how I feel about Nia. Can't stand her. Hopefully, she doesn't hurt my Rhea. If she hurts her, I'm gonna be so upset because I could see that coming. I could see her doing some damage. But
It's
yeah,
Bunny's Rhea.
oh my God, Shaw. Thoughts on what's going on that side?
Oh man, I can say this. I like how they've booked Nia Jax since she's come back. Like they've made her very strong. And I've liked that because like a woman of that size, she should be tossing all these little skinny chicks around. Like there's no reason she should be losing to these people. So like I like that. Like honestly, when it comes to her, it's like legitimate threats to her. All I see is Jade Cargill, Bianca, and beyond that, not really much. Just based on like booking alone. Never mind like size and stuff. But
Mm.
the sad part is like she is known to hurt people, so that stinks. But also, since she's been back, we haven't heard anything like that either, so that's good. Although it's only been a short period of time. Yeah, I wish the best for her. I mean, I don't wish anybody to fail. Does she always entertain me? Not really, except when she's yelling about her hole. Um, that was funny and entertaining. Um, but yeah, I'd be interested to actually see her get a face run at some point and show a little bit more of her own personality, because I feel like she just doesn't really get the chance to show any personality other than like, I'm here to kick your ass, and that's pretty much the gist of like every promo I see her cut.
And she's
So
not good at it though either.
That's what I'm saying.
She's not.
I don't necessarily know if that's her, which is why I think that wouldn't be the worst idea eventually down the line.
Hmm.
Because I'm just like, maybe this probably like that's how I feel about like Theory. Like I feel like he as a heel, it just didn't work. Like I feel like it was trash as fuck. Most of the time, it was so cringe. Not that I think he's the greatest face in the world, because I don't. But I'm just like, what works for this person? We have to just see both sides and see what's trying to
yeah,
what it is and what it ain't. You know what I mean?
yeah, and he's got tons of potential too. Like I just, it's hard as fans because I think we can all fall into this where anytime we're told this guy's the chosen one by somebody like Vince, immediately we're like, whoa, whoa, time
Right.
out. Like, what are you doing? Like, we chose who's next, not you. The
Yeah.
fans. Um, so like, yeah, man, it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this whole card, how it's shaping up. We don't even know hardly anything yet about this WrestleMania card, really. What there's
Yeah.
like a handful of matches booked right now, maybe like 5 max or something like that, out of what, like 10 or 12, I think, maybe even more.
Well, I'm sure it'll
Um,
be like 14 at least.
Yeah.
I don't,
Like
He's like 7 each, so it's gonna be crazy. Uh, who wins? Who wins? Rhea or Nia going into WrestleMania? I think Rhea's gonna win. I don't think they do a lot.
I think Rhea carries the title past Mania,
Yeah,
because I don't
definitely.
think and it's nothing against the division personally. It's just I don't see too much like worthy opponents for her.
Hmm.
Like from a physical standpoint, like just a physically imposing beast. That's why I'm not mad at the Nia Jax pick for Elimination Chamber. We know it's probably going to be a co-headline with somebody else. Obviously, it's Rhea's hometown. You know, it's in Australia, so 66,000 people or some shit. So it's the first Elimination Chamber in a stadium. She's the biggest star out of Australia. So it's kind of like I'm not mad at the pick to go with Nia Jax in terms of just like a physical specimen that can, you know, give Rhea a runner for her money in Elimination Chamber. I just know for sure that I think, like, even if, like, for example, Liv Morgan's probably gonna beat who is it, Zoe Stark next week. She may or may not. I think because of the revenge story, I think they give Liv the win at Elimination Chamber, at least to beat Zoe Stark to get to Chamber. And if Liv wins Chamber, then they'll do that. But even then, I don't want to see her beat Rhea Ripley either. So I'm like,
no,
there's not really anybody. I don't think there's anybody the fans would want to see beat Rhea Ripley.
not
I don't
now.
think
I
so.
think they got to build up like a couple credible threats. Like I see
Yeah.
her getting through Mania, and then getting through Nia, whatever comes up at yeah, getting through Mania. She'll hold on to the belt, and then I think they'll use up until SummerSlam to build somebody to be at a level where it would kind of make sense for them to win, like whether it's Jade Cargill or whoever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you were saying, right now there's no credible threats other than Nia.
Yeah, like up until this point, like say what you want about Nia Jax, who the fuck in this title reign for Rhea Ripley, who has been that credible like
There's
that?
no.
Like who has made sense? Like I think it was at Payback they did Raquel Rodriguez. I was cool because she's big strong chick, but she's not, you know, she's like subpar on the mic. At least as a baby face, it's like it's not that exciting. Their ring chemistry isn't necessarily as good as it used to be, like it was in NXT. So I don't really Zoe Stark. I think was at Survivor Series. I don't really like what who's gonna be the one to be like, oh, I would like to see them beat Rhea. There's nobody, and it's not
Mm.
necessarily anybody's fault. She's just that goddamn good.
Who does she face at Mania though? Even like you said, it could be Liv. I think they're gonna go with Becky. I really do. I think they're gonna let Becky win the Elimination Chamber and then move her into it with WrestleMania. Let Rhea beat her in WrestleMania because Becky don't care if she wins or loses. Just as long as she participates. But I can see them doing
I
that.
don't think Becky gains anything from the win either. So it's like, what the
Yeah,
hell would be the point in this? You know what I mean?
just to get it through. just to
Yeah,
make it through to Mania to like with SummerSlam or something, because eventually
Yeah.
she's gonna want to take some time off. She's been killing it for a
Yeah,
couple
if
years,
Becky goes over Rhea, it reminds me of the Hulk Hogan thing that would always happen. Oh, Hogan's back. Put him over.
right?
Like, oh, just based on
yeah,
status.
no.
But it
But
just
I
doesn't.
don't think Becky streaks her own ego that much to where she feels like she needs that. You know what I mean? If anything, she's like, I've been there, done that. This girl is clearly the most over female star in the company right now.
Oh,
Just
easily.
let her have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But this company makes boneheaded decisions sometimes. So
Oh no, very, very.
Right.
we shall see.
Still not out of the shadow. That's why. Still not out of the shadow. Speaking of not out of the shadow, it's a great segue. The Rock. We're
Oh,
gonna talk The Rock. He's back. He's interrupting people's programs. I can
That's
see why they're pivoting. I can see why they're doing it, especially with CM Punk getting hurt. Because I'm sure that there was plans probably factored in some way. And now, so Rock's back, CM Punk's hurt, Cody's getting pushed aside. The hashtag We Want Cody is going nuts.
yeah,
King
because we do.
thoughts. Everybody
Everybody,
does,
that's the
yeah,
match we've been
because we
waiting two
freaking
years
do,
for.
man.
right? Even
2 years.
even the people that aren't his fans want to see him win.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. There's
Mm.
when,
people that are diehard Roman fans that want him to win. It's
yeah,
crazy.
for real. And it makes no sense to. I just don't get the idea of you build something up for 2 years for your core audience, the people who come out week to week, support all your shows, watch the TV program every single week religiously,
Yeah.
and then you get to the biggest show of the year and you're like, let's
Yep.
do something for the casuals. Why?
No.
Next week they ain't gonna be here.
It's
The
because of the
the real
situation.
I
fans
think it's the
will
hope
be,
of I think it's the hope of bringing them back and keeping them
Mm.
there. But I'm like,
but
nah,
it's not gonna
you can't
happen.
bank on that.
And it doesn't work. People come back on their own terms. Like how I came back to being a fan of wrestling. I just randomly saw Kevin Owens come out, his debut on Raw, I think it was, and he beat the shit out of John Cena. I was like, I don't like Cena. And I've never seen this dude get whooped like that. What's going on? Did they actually change? And I started watching it. I'm like, oh shit. They're actually like doing things a little bit differently. And that got me back into it. But no big star coming back to WrestleMania would have got me back into it, no matter who it was. That's just it doesn't make sense. You might get a few people that does happen to, but not enough to
Yeah.
warrant
I'm gonna be
kneecapping
honest.
everything for it.
Yeah, I didn't come back because I saw friggin' all the people I grew up watching on. When I came back around a year and a half, 2 years ago, it was when Cody came back. It was Rhea Ripley. It was new month. Like obviously Cody had been around, but he had just came back. So I'm like, yo, man, this is really it's them that kept me. I couldn't care less if fucking Rock and
Mm.
And I'm a huge
if
Rock fan.
Cena
Always have
came
been.
back. Yeah, no, and I am too. But it's just it's kind of a situation where we do want it, just not right now. You
Right,
got
right.
just not right now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I
For
think
me,
it's
priority wise, I'd rather see Cody and Roman part 2 than Rock and Roman. I want to see both, but Rock and Roman can wait till he doesn't have a championship.
I honestly, what's crazy is like he might want Rock, but I'm curious. Obviously, we'll never know, and maybe tomorrow we'll know during the public press conference in Vegas. But I'm curious to see to know who Roman wants, because
Mm.
we know that Roman is so like obviously he's the face of the company, and what people don't realize is he does have some kind of input as to his own storylines. He's backstage. He's in people's ear more than people think, I believe. So I'm
That's what I
curious,
think.
like, does Roman want The Rock? Does he want that head of the table thing around his family and the family legacy, whatever? Or does he want to tell the best story possible and be like, you know what? Nah, this is something that we've been working on for mad long. Let's do it the right way. I don't know if Roman strokes his own ego enough to where he's like, nah, we're gonna create the biggest box office main event in the history of the sport. Or is it no, we're gonna tell the best story that we possibly can? I don't know what Roman wants. I'm just curious. I'm always curious as to like, because he's kind of the guy in the middle. These guys want Cody. These guys want Rock. I think the more diehard wants Cody right now, as opposed to like the casuals wanting Rock. The Roman's kind of in the middle of all that, so I'm kind of curious to see like, does he want Cody? Does he want Rock? Who does Roman want?
Yeah.
it's
This
the
Does he want to take the L? Does he want to win?
it's the
here's my
perfect
thing with it, right? they've spent all this time building Cody up to be the biggest babyface in wrestling that they probably had in 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Now, why build him up like that and then just cut everything out from under him at the last second? That would be like if when Stone Cold caught fire and he was about to face Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14, which I was at, which was dope. But if they went into that and Stone Cold lost, like they would have lost a lot of fans because he was that like hot at the time, and everybody wanted to see him at the top. And I just it boggles my mind that they, especially now that Vince is gone, like this is such a Vince thing to do that I'm just like, what the hell is going on over there? Like now you're hearing that Brian Gerwitz is coming back into the company because he left and went with The Rock and worked with him in Hollywood, and now he's overseeing The Rock's storylines and all this stuff. And it's just weird to me. Like you build all this, and then you're like, you know what? Let's do this.
Yeah.
That nobody wants to see. Like I
I
just
think I think
mind-boggling.
it's the perfect. I think it's the perfect shitstorm, and Rock saw the opportunity because he's a smart businessman, and he learned from Vince how to be ruthless in business, and obviously he must have taken his lessons because you don't get to that status that the Rock's at without knowing what the hell you're doing. He swooped in, got his spot with TKO, has his own creative control. And I can see The Rock having that ego to where he's going to be like, no, I am the star of this because everyone calls him the biggest movie star in the world, you know. So obviously he must think that about himself. So he's going to come in and do what he wants to do. To your point about Roman having some input, I think Rock's input trumps that. They're even saying he's got more power than Trips. So who knows how this is going to go? Hopefully he's smart enough to check his ego a little bit and lose at least, because if he wins, what's the point? There is
Yeah,
no
and then
point.
what did they
Yeah,
do?
no,
You
and
got
him
another Brock
winning.
Lesnar situation where the champ is off TV for 6 months at a time. Like,
Yeah, it makes no sense whatsoever. A lot of it doesn't make any sense, but like I said, he saw the writing on the wall. He swooped in business wise. He's got some pull now. He's going to do what he wants to do, and it sucks that it has to be at this time because like you said, King, this ain't the time. This ain't the time to
No.
butt in. And they can even go with the CM Punk situation from years ago where he just swooped in with the John Cena once in a lifetime
For a
twice
rematch
match.
nobody wanted.
Right. So they
If you were
bugged.
gonna give a rematch, you might as well just have Cena win in the first goddamn
Mhm.
place.
Makes no that it's all that smells. It smells all the same situation right now. And it really sucks for Cody because he's been doing a lot of work carrying the company.
Yeah.
And he
No.
might not get his shot this year. They might push him till SummerSlam or till Survivor Series. It's like,
mm.
holy shit, you're gonna push him off 6 more months. It's
Now,
crazy.
would it be safe to say that CM Punk came back and ruined WrestleMania by getting hurt?
Hey, it's crazy. And how fragile is he now, man? He's got to stop. I think it's time. I'm a Punk fan, but
Yeah.
it's time to hang it up.
It's weird because they're kind of, at least with Drew McIntyre, they're making it part of like Drew, because Drew's a very
Yo,
interesting
he's been
character.
killing it.
Mm.
He's
He's
a
been
very
absolute.
interesting character right now.
Yo,
He's killing it right now. Yeah.
yeah, yo, that whole line about "I prayed for this." Yo, that shit. I
And
was
it
like, yo,
happened.
I was like,
And then he
you're
shows up
killing it.
yesterday with Cody and Seth's promo with the
Yo,
shirt
and the
on.
T-shirt. Oh my, yo,
Yeah.
Drew's
Here's
killing
the
it right
thing
now.
though,
To me,
knowing
he's
Punk,
the one that should be facing Rollins.
yeah, it's crazy because like knowing Punk though, he probably loves that shit. He's probably
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
he's like, yeah, I'm out right now. Obviously, I'm probably gonna
Like,
be
keep my
helping
name
out
alive.
on commentary for a little bit, but right now he's just like, you know what? Yeah, fuck it, troll me as much as you want, because when it's my turn, it's gonna be my turn. Obviously he's hurt right now, so he can't do much. But in turn, like the thing that is always up in the air right now is with Cody and with the Roman situation. It's kind of like now. Could this be, obviously it being a work is still up in the air? It could be, and if it is, you got the fuck out of me, right?
Right,
But
I'm hoping to.
right, I'm hoping it is. But at the same time, was it originally not planned as a work, and they're seeing the backlash, and they're like, oh shit, we gotta do some things to make it seem like it is. We gotta leak little things to wrestling outlets and things like that to make it seem like it could be. Because there's always that possibility too. There's always like, nah, we were rocking with Roman and The Rock, and that is what it is, and it's final. Then they saw the reception of it, and they're like, oh, whoa,
Mm.
all right, we didn't expect this. We didn't expect Seth Rollins to come out, and they don't even let the guy talk for his first 5 minutes. They just boo The Rock, even though it has nothing to do with Seth. You know what I mean? So it's like we never know. Like they could be making it a work in response to the fans' response. Or it could have just been a work from the beginning, which, if I'm being honest, I don't think it is. I think if it ends up being a work, it's because of the fans' response.
Oh, for
Yeah, it'll be
sure.
like a Daniel Bryan situation. Absolutely.
Exactly. Like the Yes Movement. That's a fair comparison too. Like how Daniel Bryan was just so undeniable. Like they had to pull an audible in so many things in Daniel Bryan's situation that it's like, well, this guy isn't going away. Like we're gonna try to do things that are the opposite of what the fans want, but it's just gonna be too powerful to go away. Which is why the We Want Cody shit. I'm hoping that it's powerful enough to make them pull an audible and tell that guy to kick rocks for right now. You know what I mean?
Hopefully, because the way that crowd was reacting the other night, you couldn't hear it on TV, but if you saw any of the video in the arena,
Yeah, and
they
they ain't
hijacked
shit.
the
They ain't shit
entire
for that.
show.
They ain't shit for that. I knew they were
That-
gonna do that because I was like, there was tweets like, "Damn, I'm disappointed in the St. Louis crowd," and I'm like, "Don't be fooled. That shit is muted out.
yeah,
That shit is."
definitely.
Then you see it on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram, and it's literally like this. It sounds like a Eagles playoff game in January. Like it's loud as hell. Like it's
And that's the thing. They're playing with fire right now. Being that WrestleMania is in Philly, you piss off all those fucking
oh,
Philadelphia.
bro,
Yo,
myself included. I'm like, no, this is nah.
like
Philly
Right.
I'm
is
from
That place will
Boston,
burn.
and we're known to be rowdy, but you guys are even worse than us.
yeah, no,
So
and
like,
Philly is a hostile. Like, forget the sports. Like, obviously with like the Birds and the Phillies and the Sixers, they're a hostile wrestling crowd too. Because when they tried to do their thing with Roman at the Rumble and bring The Rock out to try to get cheers, it didn't work. It didn't
Mm.
work. Like they were literally chanting, "This is awful" in the crowd. My cousin was there. Like it. Philly's gonna let you know. I mean, they're gonna let you know like this shit is trash. We don't want this. So they're gonna be throwing beer cans in the ring and shit. It's gonna be wild, man.
It
crazy.
will. We'll see. We'll see what moves they make. They have what? We're 6 weeks away, something like that. 7 weeks away.
Yeah.
I know we got 2 weeks to the chamber, so we'll see what happens. The chamber's going to answer a lot of questions. Before we wrap it up, let's give our chamber predictions. Who's going to win the men's? Who's going to win the women's? Shaw.
Now, do we know who's in them yet?
I
We
don't
know
think
we
so.
know
I don't
Becky
think
Lynch
we.
is in the women's chamber. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's about it. But I mean, we can kind of see the writing on the wall, and
So the
who do we?
men's will probably be like LA Knight, AJ Styles, Randy Orton,
Drew McIntyre,
Drew McIntyre. Huh.
maybe KO. Who knows? They gotta fill it. So
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna go with Drew. I don't know why. I'm hoping, I'm holding out hope that this whole thing is a swerve, and on night one we're gonna get Drew and Rollins, and then night two we get Cody and Roman.
hmm.
So I'm gonna go with Drew in the men's, and then the women's. I think I gotta go with Becky too. I mean, I don't see
It,
what else really
it,
makes much sense. What's Bianca Belair doing right now anyway? She's kind of just
nothing.
treading water.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think they're gonna build her and Jade Cargill in the next couple weeks. Make that a
Yeah, I
mania.
think so too.
And I
Yeah, I
think I
think that
think
would be
I
a good
think
idea.
Bianca might lose just to get Jade that momentum. You know what I mean? Going after.
Yeah, possibly. And they do need. I don't know if you guys saw the reports, but there was reports that Jade's having problems like remembering all the sequences to matches.
Mhm.
So whoever they start her off with is going to have to be a veteran that can call it in the ring, pretty much. Because I mean, if you can only remember a couple sequences, you'd be dead in the water at some point in the match.
Yeah. I think
But
Bianca would be good for that though.
yeah, I think so. I think she's been around long enough now that she could probably handle that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And
I
she's
think,
also been in the ring with the experienced people too. So
Right.
yeah, no, definitely.
King, what are your picks?
I think elimination. I think the women's is gonna go to Liv Morgan only because there's an actual story there between her and Rhea. And obviously she's kind of teasing at it in social media right now, so I think it's a safe pick. Um, I don't know if I necessarily would want it that much, but I do think that that's probably my pick. For the men's, I want to pick Drew McIntyre, and I think I'm gonna pick Drew McIntyre. I just don't know. In the back of my mind, there's a possibility they make the heavyweight championship a triple threat with Drew and Sami Zayn as well. I think that's like a 30-70 thing. I think that more likely than not, it's just gonna be Drew.
Hmm.
But in the event that it's gonna be a triple threat, I don't know. Um, I mean, I don't know if the winner at Chamber would go after a mid card title, but like, LA Knight going after Logan Paul is a possibility as well. Um, for the US title. But I think the safe pick, I would go Liv Morgan and Drew McIntyre. That would be my two.
Good picks. I'm going McIntyre too. I see it. I see them doing McIntyre Rollins and McIntyre winning, giving Rollins his time off, letting Rollins heal while Punk heals because that story can be put on hold. And when they both come back, they come back around the same time, and it's like, oh, you son of a bitch, why you copying me coming back? Yeah, whatever. They could
Well,
go a million ways with
we
that.
do a triple threat
Yeah,
if they.
that's what makes Punk's injury. And it's weird because he was like, it's a little strange, and I'm not saying it's a work, but they're definitely having fun with it because Drew McIntyre is having a field day with it on
Mm,
TikTok and on screen. So it's definitely interesting. I just think that when him and Seth do both come back, it's gonna be an absolute shit show in every good way possible. I think
yeah.
because we only got a hint of it when they were both still healthy. Seth Rollins has been hurt on and off for mad long now, but
Well,
he's not 25 anymore. He's 37 years old. So, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be a shit show in every good way possible when it comes back. Obviously the feud doesn't need the title, so that I think it'll be good to give it to Drew in the meantime,
Mm,
especially because I don't know that there's 3 or 4 characters in the company more interesting than Drew right now. I'm not sure anybody's killing it like Drew's killing it right now.
yeah, he's
I
doing
mean,
some work.
obviously Cody's as over as he is. Um, Roman's obviously still the face, but in terms of like a character that I can get invested in, who's really interesting and has an interesting angle, and who you can go so many different ways with right now,
Mm.
Drew McIntyre's at the top of his game.
Yeah, I'm going Drew. And for the women, I can see them doing something crazy like Cargill winning and then going to
Yeah, man, it's
face
so unpredictable.
Ripley. I know. It seems like this whole thing is so predictable because it's like, they're going down a lot of routes that we've already been down. They're just telling some same old stories, just trying to make it through because of injuries and controversy and that sort of thing. I think where it's like almost gonna be super stale. And I hate saying that, but it really feels like it's gonna be a stale ass elimination chamber. So
Yeah,
yeah.
final thought.
but I feel like part of them might know that, so then they're like, all right, like let's
Yeah,
pull something out
I
of our
really
hat.
yeah, I hope so, I hope so, hopefully they're really working all of us right now to think that it's
Yeah.
gonna be predictable and stale, and then they're gonna pull out so many different
Yeah.
surprises. That would be great, that'd be
It can
such
go
a
either
great
way right now. It really
uh,
could. It could be absolutely horrendous or
mm,
phenomenal. And it's just
exactly.
like we just gotta wait and see
Yeah,
because
I
Yep.
think the matches themselves are gonna be dope though. Like especially the men's chamber. The men's chamber last year was fucking fire.
Mm,
Like with Montez Ford and Austin Theory and Bronson Reed and all those guys, that was fire. So I think at least the men's elimination chamber will be fire. We don't know who's all in the women's yet, so we don't know like who's gonna have that opportunity. But the card in general, we shall see. You know what I mean?
yep. That's it, man. I'm telling you. We shall see, and, yeah, thank you guys. It's been a great episode. We're gonna move
Absolutely.
on next week, we'll probably talk some Vinnie Mac things because, there's been a lot of, news coming
oh,
out about that, so
did
oh,
you see real quick before we head off, did you see the TNA news?
no.
They fired Scott Demore
Yeah. Oh yeah, they fired. Yep.
and hired some idiot from the corporate side who handles TV to do his job. That
Already? They just
yo,
changed over
he is the reason
a
that
month ago. Right.
their whole renaissance is because of him. I'm like, this is such a Vince thing. I hate saying that
Yeah,
a lot, but it is a Vince
it is.
thing to do. Like oh, let's put this TV guy in there instead of the person who built it up to where it's at and has rehabilitated that brand.
Yeah, brought it back.
Like, it's insane. I'm like,
he made people
what?
care about the shit again. Like,
Yeah, and it's like, why would you? What? If he didn't pull some Vince McMahon crap, like, what are you doing? They're like, we want synergy across our brands.
Nah, something will come out that he did something wrong, and it'll be like, okay,
there's no other explanation for it,
right? Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a stupid decision. Like,
it's sad. It's sad to even think that way, but
hopefully,
nowadays,
honestly, my hope is go to AEW, sign with them, and start booking for Tony.
Right. Do it.
Perfect scenario.
We're gonna have an AEW episode coming up soon, also, because we got a lot to talk about on that end. But again, fellas, it's been a great episode. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes,
and yeah, Culture Corner Wrestling, we out, man. Peace.
Peace.
Peace out.